Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be ranking the best power forwards in NBA 2K23 MyTEAM here on this tier list. Before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 11,000 subscriber mark on the channel. We did hit 10K just a couple days ago. Really do appreciate all the recent support on the channel. Now we're working towards that 11K mark, so make sure you do subscribe if you haven't already. We got 25 of the best power forwards in the game right here. I'm recording this video on Tuesday night. It's coming out Thursday. So if it is, if there's cards that come out between here and then that are power forwards and should make this list, they're not going to be on the list. I do apologize. I'm going out of town, so just got to do what I got to do. But without further ado, let's hop right into it. Let's put Anthony Davis in the C tier. I think it might be a little tough to put some of these guys in D tier. This is a pretty deep position, I got to be honest, but we are going to put AD in the C tier. He does not have a good release at this point. His release on normal is pretty mid, but he's still a very capable defender, decent sigs. He can shoot well when he's open. He just has a slow release, but it is at least smooth enough, which is good. And he's still a very capable defender. He's just not an elite level card anymore, so I think you got to go C tier for him. I'm going to put this other Anthony Davis. He's either high A or S. We got 25 players, so I got to decide if he's a top 5 small forward or power forward in the game. And I think he's like, if he is, he's probably 5, right? But I see 1, 2, 3, 4. Nah, he's not. I don't think he's top 5, man. I think he's very good, but I can't quite put him 5. I'm going to be honest. He's A tier. I like the card. There's a lot of good power forwards, and AD is certainly one of them, but we're going to have some really good cards in the A tier, and I think AD is one of them simply because he doesn't have the best release in the world, and he's a little bit undersized compared to some of these other top power forwards. Bam Adebayo, not a good release, doesn't move well. He's one of the worst power forwards on this list. This is a pretty easy choice to put him in the D tier. Blake Griffin is fine. Very good athlete. Decent defender, good shooter. He's a fine card. I just don't think he's incredible, and I don't love his release also, even on quick. I think it's kind of ugly. He's not a bad card, though. I mean, he's fine. He's just not great, so I think C tier is probably fair for him. Maybe you could maybe say B tier for him. Chet's going to go B tier for me. I think Chet's pretty good. I mean, he's got great size. He's a very good defender. He has very good sigs. His release just isn't good, so that's the main issue with the card, to be completely honest. But I don't know. We'll see. And yeah, we're going to go B tier for him. So Chris Bosh is going to go S tier. We're going to put him up there. I think he is a top 5 power forward in the game. Really high on Bosh. I love his release. He's got a great player build. He's a very capable defender. Definitely think he can hold it down at a very high level at that power forward position. Christian Laettner is a card that I have not personally used, so I do need to take a look at this card before I officially rank him. 6'11" with 7'1" wingspan gives him very good size, great shooting badges, decent finishing badges, can get limitless takeoff. Defensively is very solid. He's got decent speed, very good defensive stats, decent dunker. Dunk animations are actually pretty good as well. He's got good sigs, good release. I mean, he's solid. This card looks like, I mean, he might be A tier. I don't know. He's got some pretty good sigs on him as well. There's a lot to like about this card. I'll be completely honest. I think he looks better than I expected he would, to be completely honest. I'm a fan. I think because Laettner might be A tier. Either that or he's high B tier. We'll go high B tier for now because we have a lot of good power forwards, but I think he's good. I think he can be A tier. Christian Wood's going to go high C. I like his release a lot. He's not an elite defender. He does slash pretty well, but he's not like elite in size either. So I don't love him defensively. That's the main thing that puts me down on him just a little bit, but I do think he's a very good card still. So we'll go high C for him. D-Rob's also going to go S tier. Guy who's 7'1", great release, great player build, moves really well, does everything you can ask for out of a power forward. Definitely, I mean, he's pretty top tier. He's one of the best couple power forwards in the game. Definitely an elite level competitive card. We're going to go with Dino in a very high A. I actually think Dino might be better than Anthony Davis the more I use him. His defensive impact is insane with that 7'11" wingspan. I think he's an absolute monster. Love the card. Easy A tier for me. I'm such a big fan of Dino. I think he's absolutely incredible. Gonna go Dirk in B tier as well. I think Laettner is probably a slightly better Dirk. I mean, Dirk is 2 inches taller, but Laettner is also a great shooter. A little bit more versatile defensively, slightly better sigs. I think he's a slightly better version of a Dirk overall. So we're gonna go Dirk a little lower in B tier than Laettner. And Laettner's the guy who would be moved up if we did decide that we needed to move someone up. Odin is awesome. Odin is really, really awesome. I love this Odin card as well. There's a lot of really good power forwards because I don't think I can put him S tier either. He might be S tier at center because he has an awesome player build, but at the power forward position, we got to go A tier. I think he's just not quite good enough as a shooter, doesn't have an elite release, but he is a really good interior card, moves way faster than I expected that he was. I think he's a monster. Really, really good card. Huge fan of Odin cards in my team, and this year is certainly no different, so we're going to go A for him. I'm going to put James Wiseman in D tier simply because he has an atrocity of a release, and we don't have very many bad power forwards on this list. His release is atrocious, and it really ruins the card. Both the power forward and center, just not a big fan. Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to go D tier as well. Great defender, doesn't do enough offensively, slow release, doesn't have good movement, so he's very limited on the offensive end of the court, but he is still a very good defender and good enough to be on the list, just probably a D tier guy as well. We're going to go E in high B, just like Christian Laettner, a guy who has a very good release, who's a capable defender, good slasher, really good card. Like I said, the power forward position is really stacked. When you have guys like E and Christian Laettner in B tier, that's how you know it's a very, very stacked position. And it certainly is, with E also being a great, great card. Kareem's one of the best couple power forwards in the game, if not the best. I don't love the release, but he's absolutely dominant on the interior, height-wise, rebounding, defense, even movement on the offensive end of the court. And he is a much better shooter now than his pink diamond card was. He's an absolute beast. Very, very easy S tier for me. Karl Malone's going to go high D. I just think he's not good enough. No, I lied. He's on the same level as Anthony Davis. He's C tier. I don't love the card, but he's a good athlete. He's a decent defender. His release is on very quick. It's still not incredible, but it is definitely pretty consistently easy to green. And I mean, he's good enough to be C tier, I think. We got to move him up a tier. Gonna go KG in I don't know, high A as well, man. Nope, I'm gonna go KG in S actually. He's too good in terms of his SIGs and his release. His animations really top the card off well, considering he's already a very good defender and he's already very fast forward, power forward. Him having those great animations is enough for me to put him in the S tier. And then we're also gonna throw KP in the S tier. I think KP might actually be my favorite power forward in the game. 7'3", elite defender. They souped up his defense for whatever reason, in addition to being a great shooter and a very capable shot creator, obviously, at 7'3". I mean, that type of size is something you can't overstate. Lauri Markkanen's going to go D tier. He's 7 foot, and he's got a good release, but he doesn't do enough, in my opinion, to compete with the top power forwards in my team. Just my personal opinion. Moses Malone, decent release, not great. Everything else is pretty great, but he's not quite on the level of the top 5 power forwards. Good card, just not next level elite. So we're going to go A tier with him as well. Nick Claxton's, I legitimately think B tier. I mean, I actually might take him over Dirk and Chet. I think he's that good. I really like him a ton as a power forward. Like the release, he moves well. He's an elite defender. I think he's a very, very good card. We're going to go Jokic in the A tier, I think. I think that's where you got to put Jokic. This list, again, is going to be a little bit lopsided, but not too bad. But Jokic has a great release. He's got really good SIGs. He's got quick drops. I like Jokic a ton. I think he's very good. Another guy who deserves to be an 8-tier power forward. He is good enough for it. Tim Duncan's going to go C simply because of the badge count. No, he's not. I'm sorry. His release isn't good enough and he has no SIGs. He doesn't have either of those two things. He's so limited offensively at this point. He was an amazing card for his time. Was probably better than Anthony Davis actually at their time. But at this point with the advancement in cards, you need a guy like AD who's more versatile than Tim Duncan is. So I feel like we got to put Timmy in the D tier. And then finally, Tyler Hansbrough is going to be another A tier guy. Great pick and pop big with an elite catch and shoot ability. Very capable defender. Decent movement. Doesn't have great SIGs, but he's got at least a little bit to get him by. And I mean, he's another beast. Definitely a top tier option at the power forward position. I guess a second tier option at the power forward position, but certainly a very good card. So going to throw him in the A tier as well. But that is going to do it for this power forwards tier list. Let me know what you think of my list down in the comment section down below. If there's anybody you think I ranked too high or too low or left off the list entirely that does deserve a spot, let me know. And I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.